find so troubling about some of these false narratives that Beto is peddling is that essentially he's engaging in race baiting. He is trying actively to further the racial divide in our nation in an effort to gin up people's emotions to get those people to vote for him. I mean, that's not just lying. That's not just a false narrative. That's not just a dishonest politician. That is downright wrong. It's close to evil to try actively to spark racial divide in order to get votes.
Unfortunately, this isn't anything new for those on the left. We saw this for years under the Obama administration. President Obama, Michelle Obama as First Lady, and beyond, by the way, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, and many others within the administration, very often race baiting and trying to create not only a political divide, which I think you and I could agree is incredibly large in the United States today, and I think that we should come together in dialogue. Our side tends to be the side that wants to do that more, but the left has done and continues to do this when it comes to race in America. Kamala Harris is another Democratic candidate who is kind of trying to make a name for herself in not only creating a racial divide or a political divide, but now even a gender divide in her presidential campaign against Donald Trump in 2020. I sincerely hope for America's sake and that of my children that it doesn't work.
Right. I certainly hope it doesn't work, too. I mean, this is, I think, an overlooked comment that Beto O'Rourke made last night while he was talking about race, when he made this false accusation that President Trump called neo-Nazis very fine people, which you heard for yourself. Trump did not say that. This is what Beto says. He said he, referring to President Trump, makes possible the acts of violence and hatred that we are seeing play out in our country. Alicia, this is one of the most dangerous narratives coming from the left, in my opinion, trying to equate speech, even if you disagree with a speech, with violence, pretending that speech is violence if you don't agree with the speech, even if you find that speech to be abhorrent. He makes possible the acts of violence. How? What kind of accusation is this, and what's the solution to this in Beto's mind if you're going to define speech as violent? Do you want to shut down any speech that you disagree with?
But the problem is that on CNN, MSNBC, or really any other news show, he's not going to be asked that very important follow-up question that you just mentioned. And once again, this is something that we hear out of many people on the left across the board, whether they're elected or non-elected officials. They want to go up to the line of saying that they no longer care about the First Amendment unless what you and I say happens to also agree with them. And it's an incredibly dangerous place for us to be as a society. And I would just say to them, hey guys, if shoe was on the other foot, if Donald Trump was saying this, if Steve Scalise was saying this, if Mitch McConnell was saying this, you would rightfully have issues with it. And the average American should have major issues with any politician using this type of language.